Okay, this is the second video on naming chemical compounds. We're going to start talking about ionic compounds, and you remember ionic compounds are when you have a metal and a non-metal. So what we're doing here is you go to your periodic table chart because you have to know the charges to do crossing over. So when you go to periodic table, it's just like when you were looking for the valence electrons. You looked up at what group they were, and the group tells you what the charge is. So group 1 has positive 1, group 2 is 2, group 13 is 3, group 14 is 4 or negative 4, and it depends upon how it's used in the formula. Group, 15 is a negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. So you're starting out going positive 1, positive 2, positive 3, positive 4, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1. Okay? You got to use that. Now what they will also give you typically is a common oxidation chart. It gives you a lot of the oxidation numbers of the block, of the D block, because some of them have different numbers. It's also got the polyatomics on there, and you're going to be using that when we do the polyatomic, naming polyatomics. So, here's how this works. You're going to be given something like sodium and oxygen. So the first thing you look is how many elements there are. There's 2 elements here. So with 2 elements, then you decide whether it is a metal and a non-metal or 2 non-metals. In this case, sodium's right here, so you know that it is a metal. Oxygen is over here. So you count up to find what the charge is. Sodium is in group 1, so it has a +1 charge. Oxygen's over here. So it's +1, +2, +3, +4, -4, -3, -2. So you know it has a -2 charge. Here's where the crossing over comes in. Because all you have to do is you drop the positive or the negative and you bring the opposite charge over. So your Na, the 2 comes down here, the O is a 1. And remember, when you're writing chemical formulas, you don't write down 1s. So it just becomes Na2O. Okay? Let's look at Al and O. Aluminum is a +1, +2, +3. We already looked up that oxygen's a -2. So you cross them over. The 2 comes down here, the 3 comes down here, and it's Al2O3. Pretty simple? Let me give you another one. O. Hydrogen and oxygen. Hydrogen's in group 1, so it's going to have a +1 charge. We know that oxygen's -2, so you cross them over, and it becomes H2O. Okay? That should be able, you've got to be able to know this when we're doing the naming the ionic compounds. You'll see that when we get to that video in just a second.